you don't see the men who are widows come out. And you see these women going through a lot, doing every mini job they can do just to sustain themselves, sustain their family and fend for their kids. It brings me to, having deep thoughts. I see a lot of them come to my mom to ask for help. And I just woke up one day and I said, okay, let's do this. This is a vision. I can say maybe God gave me a vision to go out there and support widows. And that was how I started.
Okay, that's amazing. Again, commendable job. I mean, I wish there were more people in our society that looked out for, widows and other people, in this regard. Let's now talk about the struggles. That's what moved you into founding an NGO.
Yeah.
What are some of these struggles that widows go through that moved you to this action?
Okay, there are actually a lot, but let's mention just a few. I think some of the struggles that go through feeling of loneliness. So you started a journey with someone, and then along the line, the person is no longer there. How do you cope? There's a feeling of isolation. They could have family members that thoroughly care about them, but it's never going to be the same. So these people can't fill up that space or fill up the shoe that their spouse wore.
Okay.
So when you feel lonely, it's just like, okay, you're married, your spouse is not in that same town where you live. Now imagine that you're never going to see that person again. So they're always lonely. And you see some of them, from loneliness, depression starts.
Okay.
That's another thing, that's another challenge that widows go through. They are depressed. They're not sure how to probably react, or the shouldering of the responsibilities that they are left with. So this is a load on two persons, becomes one person's load. So depression sets in. They're not even sure, what do I do next? What am I not doing right? And another thing they probably experience is discrimination and stigmatization from family, friends, people in their environment. So you have your own husband alive, and you probably feel because the other person lost his or her own spouse, you look down on them, make them feel less. In this economy, we have a lot of married people throw it in the face of others that, oh, I'm married, I'm this. People are going through a lot. Somebody's a widow and you make the person feel less of who he or she is.
Right.
That's another thing. Then we have some very unhealthy family practices in some parts of the world, in some families. Once the woman or the man loses their partner, they begin to go through a lot of issues. Families come up with their own cultural practices. This is what we want. This is what must happen in our own family. You must sleep with the cops. We hear of all of these things. It's not only hearing, we've seen some of these things happen. And these are other things that widows go through. They go through anxiety. Because, you're not sure of what the financial burden is going to be on you. Economic insecurity is another thing, is another challenge that they go through. You're not sure of how to probably react to the future.